All right, y'all. This week we got a Mindfully Rich rewind. Back to conversation number 35. So icy, you want to be rich or act rich episode. Let's go. Hello, and welcome back to Mindfully Rich Podcast, your weekly look at life and finances. With a twist, I'm your host, Richie. So excited that y'all are back yet another week. Right here with me, and we are on. I just have to let y'all know, we doing good, okay? For those of you who are new to the podcast, I always say we just because I truly believe that y'all who are listening, y'all are a part of the success of Mindfully Rich because y'all are the reason why I'm here. And we're on season 2, and this is episode 10 of season 2. That means I am total 35 episodes in to this podcast. I know. Everybody's clapping. Yes. Keep those claps going. There you go. I'm super excited about that. And I'm so glad that y'all choose to listen to the podcast each and every week. And make sure that you are subscribing wherever you listen. So if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever it is that you're streaming the show, please make sure you subscribe. And also, if you find the episodes to be helpful to you, make sure you share them. We're going to go ahead and move on into today's conversation. So, a lot of y'all may know what Versus is, but for those of you who don't know what Versus is, I have to tell y'all about this, okay? So yesterday, there was a Versus battle with Jezzy, my favorite rapper, and Gucci Mane, okay? And Gucci Mane is my daughter's favorite rapper. Now, check this out. I love Gucci Mane too. It's just Jezzy is my dude, okay? He's just my dude. And so a Versus battle is when two artists, and also let me bag that up just a little bit. Swiss Beats and Timbaland at the probably a little bit into the pandemic started what's called Versus, where they would get two R&B or hip hop artists together and they would go live on IG. And for the most part, they would play their songs. They would go probably 15 songs in where they're just playing songs back to back. So it has to be two artists that have a lot of songs that people would know. And y'all, these battles, they get all of the views, okay? We all be just sitting here watching IG Live for these battles. And yesterday's battle against Jezzy and Gucci Mane had about 1.7 million people on their live. Now, that was just on the IG page. Now, I know that they were also broadcasting from Apple Music, but neither here nor there. But from watching that, it was something about what Gucci Mane said that I was like, I got to do an episode on that. And so what happened was Jezzy and Gucci Mane have been into it like they have been rivaled with each other for the last 15 years, right? They did this battle, hadn't made up or anything, but they said they were doing it for the culture, which we all appreciate, okay? Because we love their music, okay? I don't know, because I know my audience spreads. There's lots of people that are listening. Y'all may not know who I'm talking about, but just know these two people who I just mentioned, they are rap royalty, trap music royalty, Atlanta royalty. And so I absolutely love seeing them come together for this battle. And so it was something that Gucci Mane has said, and I had to write it down just to make sure that I get it right, y'all. Gucci Mane said, I want y'all to appraise my outfit. It costs 10 bands, but look at my opponent though, right? Then Jezzy said, I didn't know it was a fashion show. I ain't got no $10,000 outfit, but I own half of Atlanta. Big flex, okay? That was a huge flex, okay? $10,000 outfit versus owning half of Atlanta. But I'm not doing this just because I'm saying Gucci don't have money or anything like that, because Gucci is paid. Gucci got all of the money and Jezzy has all of the money. But Gucci was talking about his home ownership. And after that, I was just like, well, not just his home ownership, his ownership in land and real estate, period. That was his flex that he was doing. So after that, that was when I said, you know what? I got to do an episode on this. Like, I got to talk about this in some type of capacity. So we're going to go ahead and move into our next segment, our Mindful Money Moment. And our music title inspiration comes from both Gucci Mane and Jezzy. And it's the So Icy, You Want to Be Rich or Look Rich episode, right? Y'all know I love a long title, right? But this is a good one, okay? So I got a real question for y'all. Would you rather look rich or actually be rich, right? I know y'all know the people out here that just be flogging, acting like they got it when they really don't. And for a lot of you, you know my history. I've been in the financial industry for the last 14 years. And when I used to be in a branch, it was something to me. I didn't used to know who had money and who didn't, just because there's a lot of people that can look real loud in the world. You know, it looked like they got on every penny that they own, right? Looking loud. Right? And then there's those people who just look, regular schmegular out here. Okay. You wouldn't know what they had because they're not as loud with their outfits, with their cars, with the things that they're doing. They're not out here flaunting. Right? And so that statement that Gucci said, although Gucci has money, but when he said my outfit is worth $10,000 and Jezzy didn't have on a $10,000 outfit. He actually just had on like a jersey, some jeans, like a little bandana around his head. Like he just had on something regular. But then he also flexed and told him, I own half of Atlanta. He ain't got to do that. But you know what? I also understand that there are different personality types in the world. Lots of people, they make the money and they want to show the money that they make. There are lots of people who make the money and don't want to show it. But the thing that I really want to concentrate on is, are you one of those people who are out here looking rich when you're not actually rich? And check this out. Rich to each his own is something different. We may all hear that word and hear something different and may think of being rich differently. Being rich may not even deal with monetary for you. It may not even be about the money. But right now, I'm talking about the people who are out here buying all the things or trying to flaunt it like they got it when they really don't. I'm talking about acting your wage. And lots of people don't act their wage. They try to act above and beyond that. And that's how you go broke. When you stay in houses that you really can't afford. When you finance cars. Yes, you heard me say it. Finance cars. Because I know lots of people be out here. Oh, such and such bought a car this, bought a car that. You bought a car when you paid cash for that whole thing. Okay? Not when you purchase a car, you're financing a car, basically. I'm in the financial industry, so of course I'm going to look at it differently. But you haven't paid off that car. Most people are paying car notes on their vehicles. But it's funny how social media, when they see celebrities, when they say, oh, I bought this car, I bought this, I bought that. When I'm in the background, because I did loans for celebrities before as an underwriter. True story. Okay. And I know they're financing these vehicles. But because social media, sometimes people can get that twisted and they're thinking, dang, such and such bought this. Or they may see somebody else, like someone that's not a celebrity. Oh, they bought this. I should go buy this. I got to do this. Or I need a certain level of money, or I have to act like I have a certain amount of money to have this certain status, or to get certain people to be in my life. Things like that. You don't know what be in people's mind. And so that's the reason why I wanted to talk about acting your wage, because here at Mindfully Rich, I want y'all to be just that. Mindfully rich. Be mindful of the money that you have. Be mindful of the money that you're spending, and not out here flaunting like you got it if you don't got it. Okay, I told y'all when I worked in a branch, I would see people sometimes, they would be very loud with just making it seem like they look like money, right? There's a song titled Look Like Money. I should have called it that. Nope, couldn't call it that today. But some people, they'll just look like money. I've seen some of the bummiest of bummy people come into the bank before, into the credit unions that I've worked in before. And I would look at their account and they had all the wealth, but they didn't look like it. Okay. And like I said, I understand people are different. But the thing is, how do you get to that status of what it is you're trying to act like if you're one of those people who are out here acting like you got it when you really don't? And that's what I really wanted to dissect. And how you get that is you have to act your wage. Being rich or financial freedom, it comes with work, y'all. It comes with determination. It comes with discipline. All of those things, all of those adjectives, should I say, are all the things that you need to do to put in that work so you can have the wealth that you want one day. Those are also some adjectives that T.I. would use. T.I., he got his own podcast out here, expeditiously. Those are the type of words he uses. But I'm being for real, though. If you want some type of wealth, or any type of financial freedom, whatever that peace of mind looks like for you financially, because it's going to be different for all of us. You have to put some time in managing the money that you have right now at the wage that you're making right now. You have to ensure that you're managing whatever it is you have now so that you're able to manage more when you get it. If you can't manage $2, why you think God gonna give you $2 million to try to manage? Okay, I know that was a big jump, right? There's a lot of numbers in between that, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. So you have to work on your own money management now, not trying to flodge out there like you got it, or always trying to go after the most expensive things, or trying to look like money when you really don't have it. And say you do have it. Do you need it? And that's another thing that messes a lot of people up. A lot of people would be able to save so much more money if they were able to really get in tune with what it is that they really need. Okay, we're coming up on Thanksgiving next week. And so if you practice gratitude, even in your financial life, being grateful for what it is you currently have, it makes you spend less money. Because you're not always chasing whatever the next thing is, or you're not chasing materialistic things to make you feel good or to make you look a certain way. Now, I'm not saying that everyone's doing this, but I know this is a word for somebody out there, okay? You know, like the pastor say, this is a word for somebody listening to this, or y'all may know someone that's like that. So my biggest thing that I'm trying to, bring home is, if you want to one day bring in the wealth, peace of mind, financial freedom, whatever it is that you would like to see, you have to be mindful of how it is you're spending your money right now, what it is you're doing right now in this moment. And like I just said, adding that gratitude factor, being appreciative of where it is that you're at right now, acting your wage until you get to the wage that's able to spend more. Okay, I would love to spend like Oprah right now. Okay, I don't know how Oprah spends, but I would love an Oprah house. I would love, Oprah cars. I would love all of those things. But that's not the type of money that I'm making. I only have the money. I only have my wage right now. So I have to act accordingly in my wage bracket. And once I get there, when I learn how to ensure, well, I've already learned, but you get what I'm saying. As I'm managing the wage that I'm at now, as I get more, I'm able to purchase more if that's something that I need to do. But that's something at my wage that I'm at now, I need to decide. I need to get my needs in check, get my wants in check, get my discipline of spending in check, all of those things, so that I will be good when I do get to whatever that financial freedom mark is for me. And like I said, that financial freedom, that richness, that's going to be different for each and every one of you. That's something I want you, to think about. What does that look like in my life? And that's actually going to be my financial self-care tip this week. What does being rich look like to you? What does financial freedom look like to you? What does that mean? How much do you want that to come to your life, right? What are you willing to give up so that you're able to achieve that, right? Because none of us want to be out here broke, right? That's the one thing we do know. We don't want to be out here broke, not having any money, not being able to do the things that we need to do. And of course, some of the things that we want to do. So I encourage you, as my financial self-care tip this week, to figure out what is financial freedom in your life. What does that look like? What do you want it to look like? We get a chance to write our stories and paint that picture of what we want it to look like. But a lot of people, they just say, I want to be rich, or I want money. I want this. I want $1 million. I want this. I want that. Whatever that is. How are you going to get there? What's that roadmap for that? And so I want to give y'all some insight to what that looks like for me. I've decided that I want to help as many people as I can. And I want to help them with their finances. I want to help them with understanding what they need to do financially so that they're able to make better decisions. That's something that I've decided that I want to do. And what I've noticed is, as I do that, I get closer to my goal of what being rich looks like, because I'm rich in my mind, right? And with educating others, with sharing the things that I do, I get more and more opportunities, which have some type of monetary, payment that I'll receive, thank you, Lord. And that's helping me to get closer to what my goal is. But look at this. Me being rich involves me helping others, which in turn gives me the money that I want to have in my life so that I'm able to reach that financial freedom. So I want you to think about that in your own life and what that looks like and how you're going to get there. Because sometimes when you just, not even sometimes, when you just chase money, it feels like the money's running away from you. But when you chase purpose, the money feels like it just comes to you. And that's what I'm doing right now. I got a big purpose that I'm sitting on. And I want y'all, that's financial self-care tip for y'all. Find what that purpose is that's going to get you to that financial freedom that you seek. All right, y'all. See, I brought y'all a short episode because I know for the last couple of episodes, they have been almost 30 minutes. And I know lots of people don't have the attention span that they need to have. And so I just want to thank y'all so much for tuning in. Be sure to go back and listen to the episodes that you haven't listened to. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the podcast on whichever streaming platform you're listening on. And be sure to share these episodes, y'all. I want this to get out to everyone. I told y'all what my purpose is, what it is that I would like to fulfill. Help me to get this information out to as many people as possible. So please share. And so, in the words of my favorite YouTuber, Funky Dineva, that's all I got. Ain't got no more. And until next time, when I hit y'all with another one.